Okay, so let's get started. Hello, everyone, and I'm so glad that you could join our global webinar series. I'm coming to you today from Dermapen World headquarters in Australia. We're now in over 80 countries, so we have such a huge, wide range of audience from different parts of the globe. So a warm welcome to each and every one of you. I hope many of you can join us for many more of these series that we're having, which will be monthly global webinars hosted by different educators, KOLs, and industry experts from all around the world. But firstly, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Corey Marshall, the co-founder of Dermapen World and the cosmeceutical director. I'm the creator of DP Dermaceutical Skincare and now Hair Care Collection. And I'm very excited to cover this topic today to inspire you all with new and innovative ways to get the best results out of your Dermapen microneedling synergies for the treatment of hair loss. And I'm extremely honoured to have co-hosting this webinar with me today, the amazing Andrew Hansford. He's been a leading figure in both aesthetics and the hair industry education. And we at Dermapen World are so proud to have Andrew as a part of our international education team. And with over 20 years experience, he's got such a huge influence and expertise in this field. And I'm sure that you're going to be very, very inspired by his knowledge on this topic. So welcome, Andrew. Normally, it would take this topic for many hours, even up to a day. So I guess we've got a lot to cover in the next hour. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Corey. You're absolutely right. This is a big subject. We will do it in an hour, I promise. So before we get started, let's just play this lovely little video.
ExoGrow is a new revolutionary product for hair loss. Dermapen World needed to articulate its amazing benefits to both distributors and consumers. We needed to understand what our audience really think, what they're talking about, and how we could better connect with them. Consumer research was vital. We combined search analytics and social listening data, and by observing our audiences online, we overcame cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias, providing an unfiltered and honest picture of who they are. We analysed over 61,000 conversations and 20,000 search terms. We discovered there were many types of hair loss, and those that suffer have specific demographic characteristics. Research identified 3 distinct audience segments that could be targeted by ExoGrow. Our customer insights analysis also helped to understand their needs and their pain points. Many hair loss solutions are fighting for market share, and consumers typically trial several different products. Their journey is far from linear, with most consumers jumping between natural, topical, and medicated solutions. We discovered many more insights. The hair loss category is plagued with quick fixes and miracle solutions. Skepticism for new products is rife, particularly those at a higher price point. Consumers are looking into active ingredients and want scientific evidence. Hair loss can affect mental health, and losing hair can lead to a loss of identity. These insights led us to a unique brand positioning, one that captured the Dermapen World essence, differentiates ExoGrow from its competitors, and meets our customers' needs. Data-driven solutions, the key to successful advertising campaigns.
Let me introduce you to the immune-tolerant, proven and patented exosome technology. We have both skin and hair, but we are going to be focusing on hair today. First and foremost, though, what is an exosome? Simply put, exosomes are small, membrane-bound sacs released by cells in their millions that serve as communicative vesicles or vehicles of facilitation to communicate by transporting biological substances, which includes things like proteins, lipids, and RNA, from one cell to another, affecting that cell's behavior and its function. So 20 years ago, we all thought that stem cells were that they were the ambassador, they were the diplomat, they were the manager. They told our bodily functions what to do. However, in 2022, Dermapen World created a prototype from an exosome, which we'll talk about a little bit more. from amniotic fluid derived mesenchymal stem cell derived exosomes. That's a mouthful. The exosome now has become the ambassador, the diplomat, and the manager. Why? Because it has this commutative pathway. As I say, it was released in its millions, floating through the body, traveling extensive distances to find its cell target, entering the cell, delivering its information, and the cell then works accordingly. This is both in skin regeneration, hair loss and maintenance, but also in generalized medicine. Working alongside DP Dermaceuticals and Dermapen World is an incredible company that we've been working with for many, many, many years. They created this ability to do both human and biomimetic exosome technology. And in doing so, have been awarded 4 times the equivalent of a Korean Nobel Prize. That's incredible. To be able to study this for such a long period of time, to get to the point of reference where we can now focus on the different forms of exosome technology in both hair and skin. For example, we can culture them direct response to hair, we can culture them with direct response to skin. And this is where it becomes extremely fascinating and the first of its kind in our industry. When we take the mesenchymal stem cell from the amniotic fluid, we create an incredible blueprint where we can actually see what's inside the exosome. And there is an awful lot, thousands of elements. Do we need all of them? Absolutely not. So at this point, part of that Nobel Prize technology, they can remove what's not necessary, add what can help and support, and then focus on the different areas of interest that we're trying to work through. By this reverse engineering process, it gives us the ability to retain both essences. One, the human element, which can be shared with some countries, and the biomimetic element, which can be shared with others. They're extremely similar, and their results are almost identical. With the 1,000 peptides that sit inside an exosome, the 800 growth factors that sit inside an exosome, do we need those? Absolutely not. We need to build that down, like I mentioned, and then create them synergistically for the treatment we are trying to achieve. So when we have this incredible product, we now need to work out how we can target that to the direct areas of response. So the 2 layers that we are most focused with are the medical layer of the skin, most often used, called the reticular dermis. But we also have the epidermis, often referred to as the beauty layer. Both of these have growth factors. Both of these have amino acids and vitamins and minerals, all that need to be supported so we can deal with each and every different concern our skin has. And this is where exosomes are an absolute powerhouse, that they can work with each and every condition our skin has trouble with. Because, as mentioned, they are communicators. They deliver the essential information to each and every cell and help to restore and maintain our skin's integrity. So let me introduce you to the second part of the Dermapen World exosomes, the HLA-G component. This is a first and a patented technology, which is a complete game changer for exosome technology. When you are looking at regenerative medicine and even general medicine, what we have is over a period of time, things can plateau. It happens in both environments as well. And what was discovered that over a period of about 6 to 8 treatments, the exosomes would plateau, which would basically mean the macrophages decided they didn't like them anymore and they killed them off. So what was created was the intolerant side of it, which now means that our exosomes will never plateau. So when you're looking for regenerative skin conditions, it's extremely important, but it's equally as important when it comes to hair, because this is maintenance forever. Also, with the Exo Grow, we've placed in there different ingredients that are going to be responsible for the restoration and maintenance and support and the ongoing hair journey. And that's the Complexa. And within that, we've placed in ingredients which are going to be focused much more heavily towards hair. For example, we have 20 amino acids that make up keratin, and keratin is the second most abundant protein in the body after collagen. We have placed 17 of them in there. This means that the starting point is there. And this is not just the scalp, this is not just the papilla or the growth of the hair, but this is also the hair that's left our head to be able to support it and maintain it and give it the strength, the vitality that it needs to continue. So with our HLA-G attached immune-tolerant biomimetic exosomes that do deliver PDRN and growth factors directly to the cells, Dermapen World provides a better answer in the market for exosome therapy, mainly because of their human-derived origin, which delivers numerous special advantages. And when it comes to the immune-tolerant, Dermapen created a human recognizable sequence that is completely biomimetically synthesized exosomes that are a true exosome with no human component. Now, let's introduce you to the ExoGrow range itself. So first and foremost, I must touch on this. With a lot of hair loss protocols, treatments that are in the marketplace at the moment, there's a lot of false hope and false promise attached to them. Now, the difference here is that there really shouldn't be, because anagen, which is the growth phase of the hair, on the head is in anagen 80% of the time. So it means that you have the ability to treat them maybe 3 times to see a difference. Unfortunately, a lot of these other treatment protocols are up to between 8 and 12 with no possible outcome. We don't know what that outcome will be. And when you're dealing with men, especially, they will talk about Botox or toxin, their fillers, they'll talk about working out, they'll talk about lots of things, but they won't talk about hair loss. It's an inherent part of their absolute being. They feel unattractive, they feel less sexual, they feel all of these things. I've had grown men catatonic in tears over this, and it's really affected me emotionally too. And I want to make sure that's supported going forward. It affects 1 in 5 men in their 20s. In their 30s, nearly 1 in every 2. 85% of men start to see something around their age of 50. So it's a huge thing. And the psychological point, I'm going to go out on a limb really and say I think is a little bit more psychological a lot of the time than even skin, because they don't know what to do because of the false hope, false promise. We can go into any department store in the world and find products that are dedicated to it with no clinical backstory whatsoever. Social media everywhere. So I really want people to understand this is a very hand-holding approach. It's a very honest and upfront approach when you're talking to your clients, when you're about to step into this journey with them. And the second most research...
Andrew, I was just going to say that I really engage with this conversation, what you're talking about here with the psychological impact of hair loss, because this also affects over 40% of women will suffer with some kind of hair loss in their time. So yes, for both men and women and all different ages, this is a big effect. So much like our passion for many skin conditions that we're able to help with Dermapen World, this has also made us so passionate about this particular topic with the ExoGrow, and also with the psychological impact that a lot of these clients are actually going through.
Absolutely, Corey, definitely. So we know that the emotional effect is increased nervousness, unhappiness, social rejection. People feel hopeless, perceive a permanent hair loss. It's awful. Shunning social events. Women especially, as Corey quite rightly just said, women it's their crowning glory a lot of the times. How many times have we heard friends of ours say, I'm not going out, my hair looks horrible, or I'm having a bad hair day? This is all emotive. So we know that many studies are showing the correlation between hair loss and negative mental states. And it really does impact an individual's overall well-being and life satisfaction.
And Andrew, I hear that you have actually worked with women that were suffering through cancer treatments, and I imagine that losing their hair would have been a very traumatic experience, but also taken a very big psychological toll on them. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely, Corey. It was incredible for me, actually. I used to do some work on Harley Street for post-op mastectomy victims. And when I was getting more into the hair loss protocols and wanted to understand more about it, I just happened to randomly ask when I was in clinic, and I spent the entire day crying my eyes out because I had no idea this wasn't something I would have gone through or would ever go through, so I didn't understand it. And every one of them said it was more traumatic to lose their hair than lose a breast. I would never have thought that. And they told me the whole story. You know, they knew what was happening to them. They knew they were going to have the breast removed. They could handle that. Emotionally, they got that together. Then suddenly their hair fell out. It was like a 360, a consistent thing. And the wigs didn't help. Nothing really helped a lot of them. So it really made me go, no, this is not acceptable. We need to make sure that everyone who works with Dermapen World as a brand and all of us do understand that we are, yes, trying to give them the best possible outcome, but we're also trying to give them back at the same time, and doing it with a hand-holding, emotive, honest approach. And what Corey has done with the Exogrow collection has coveted all of those areas, because it's not just a couple of products. It's everything that will support them on their journey going forward, because that's exactly what we need to do. So let's have a look at the collection first and foremost. We need, who can we use it? Who can do it? Considerations, opening new horizons, dermatology, trichology, hair loss, cosmetic, plastic surgery, transplant, hair specialists, absolutely. The consumers, the people who are suffering this on a daily basis, we have alopecia, we have both male and female genetic, men with hair loss aging, postnatal women aging, cancer as mentioned, nutrition has a big part to play in it. Weight gain, weight loss, hair damage through styling, chemical treatments, environmental damage, and thyroid disorders. All of these things can have a part with the immune deficiencies and diseases, etc. It sounds complex, but when you actually sit back and you do a bit of a tick box exercises, you can kind of tick off a lot of these, and then you can kind of figure out a way forward with them. But with the Exogrow collection, everything is in it. Everything is there to support any one of them. And we need to understand that because hair is quite difficult to test in lots of situations, we do this clinically when we're doing aesthetics. We do the diagnostics, we do the backstory, we listen to the patient's journey. And there we're doing our little boxes are being ticked in our head of knowing where we're going to go and how we're going to treat them. This is exactly the same. But as I mentioned earlier about the 80% anagen, this is where it's really clean to be able to explain this to clients. So when you say to someone, oh, give me 12 treatments once a month, and then an entire year goes by without any real knowledge if it's going to work or not, fast forward 12 months, and what's the end result? What do you say to them? Oh, I'm so sorry, well, that wasn't going to work. Let's try something else. I've just told you about the emotional support these people need. You've just given them a lie. You've lied to them for an entire year. So again, unacceptable. So when we've got the 80% anagen, that means that we're in growth phase times 80%. So when you start using the Exogrow range, you can do it with your camera phone. You can take a photograph of their scalp and you'll see certain things could be happening. One, blood supply to the scalp. Blood doesn't like getting there. It's a long way up. So you'll start to see the scalp going from a gray ashen color to slightly pink. You'll even see blood supply, capillary activity. You'll see a cleaner scalp. You'll see the follicular follicles open, so they get slightly wider. You may see a second hair growing out of each follicle, or you might even see the hairs expanding in diameter. If you see any one of them, off you go, crack on. You're on a really good path to move forward. If you see nothing, zero change, then you can quite honestly say, I think there's not much more we can do. Let's work on maybe bringing in a drug, like maybe, or working them towards surgery. But that's quite rare with this range, I'm just saying. But the fact you've told them that, and the fact you've been honest with them they love you, and because they're not told the truth. So this is the ExoGrow Complexer, which has a whole 360 approach to the entire hair loss journey. So this works inside the scalp, right down at the hair bulb, right the way through to the papilla, through the hair into the hair growth and the hair on the head itself. So supporting the hair from the shampoos and conditioners, from a strengthening agent, and making sure that the scalp biome is protected from outside pathogens. All of this, there's so much to work through when it comes to the hair loss itself. We even have plant-derived exosomes, but they're used there because they're extremely strong antioxidants, and they help to serve as reactive oxygen species and scavengers. So we have pea protein, we have the peptide complex, we have edelweiss extract, all of these things that are there to support you. And the amino acids themselves, Corey, actually, as you know, keratin is made of the most abundant protein in the body outside of collagen. This is primarily composed of keratin, as we know. And this is really exciting that you managed to get 17 of the 20 into this brand. How did you do that?
Well, you know that we needed that keratin amino complex to support the scalp health and also to encourage the hair growth itself. So as we were just talking about, it's one of the most abundant proteins in the body, and it is one of the primary compositions of hair too. So this particular complexer was very important for us because, as we know, the hair goes through so many attacks, such as chemical reactions, hair loss, hair treatments, heating, hormonal issues, age, alopecia related conditions. So I included this in the DP Dermaceuticals ExoGrow hair collection, 17 of them, because these were the amino acid nutrient powerhouses that were really needed to make up that large percentage of the hair's chemical structure. So this really plays a vital role in the hair development, promoting greater hair growth and also scalp condition for the strength and the integrity. Each one of these amino acids have actually been very carefully selected and ratioed within the formulas as well. So this is why we know we're getting such amazing quick results and healthy hair.
Thank you. Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. I was blown away that you managed to get 17 of them in there. So well done. And also growth factors, so incredibly important. And this is also a step back to the exosomal process, because it's very difficult to get all of these growth factors out of the human body outside of using an exosome, because they are inside it. So we can now take them out of the exosome and implant them or place them into the ingredient of choice, whether that be hair or whether that be skin. And as you can see by this list of growth factors, what they do and how they support the hair from growth and regulation of mobility and morphogenesis, kickstart keratinoids, slows down apoptosis, stem cell factor. All of these things are so incredibly important in the hair loss journey and support going forward. We also have polynucleotides within the hair grow, and this is there for lots of reasons, but the main reason is what polynucleotide technology is really known for, and that is wound healing, it's anti-inflammatory, and it increases blood circulation. All three of those are so extremely important in hair loss. We don't want inflammation of any kind, and we want blood supply to the scalp, which I mentioned earlier doesn't like happening. So this is also part of the immune tolerant process as well. So it's incredible that the polynucleotides are in there. And that combination between polynucleotides and exosomes is a bit of a powerhouse. The other one too, Corey, you should be so incredibly excited about this one. And I would like you to mention this, please.
Yes, with regard to the minoxidil comparison, because this is an industry standard. So I was super excited when these results were revealed. And I think this is something that's very important with the ExoGrow, particularly the MG ExoGrow product that we use in clinic and also the ExoGrow Tonic. These are real game changers in the industry because we know that minoxidil is the industry standard to support hair growth and hair loss, but it really does come with downsides and being negative side effects. So for these exosomes contained within the ExoGrow range to have such impressive results without the negative side effects, without toxic chemicals, no parabens, no phthalates, no silicons, formaldehydes, no sulfates, this really, really does go with our brand philosophy, which is outstanding results with the safest and the most effective protocols. And Andrew, the feedback we're getting is amazing, including my own husband.
Incredible.
So Steen's hair is growing back as well after being bald for so many times, for so many years now. So what we're finding with the exosomes is that they're improving results for hair transplants, alopecia treatments, general hair thinning and hair loss for both men and women, with or without microneedling. And of course, the treatment providers around the world have come to expect excellent results and outcomes. So yes, all round, it's a winner.
It's incredible. When I read this, 160% more effective than minoxidil. Obviously, I've been giving minoxidil for years because it was the only option. With most trichologists, it's the only option. But the trouble is, I mean, the clinical studies show that only 1% enters the scalp when it's topically applied. And these are the things that you can buy in, supermarkets that, there's brand names we all know. So again, it slightly goes back to the false hope, false promise for me, because you're never quite sure what's happening. You need to go from a prescription grade, which is a whole nother journey, but to actually get 160% more effective than minoxidil is mind-blowing. And as Corey quite rightly said, we are seeing these results so quickly in comparison to anything I have ever done historically. So this is the MG ExoGrow. This is what you're going to use in clinic with your Dermapen 4 microneedling device. As you can see, we have two here, the ExoSkin on the left and the ExoGrow on the right. They are similar in products. However, the difference lays behind the scenes with this incredible ability to be able to work with these exosomes. So here with the skin one, the fibroblast cell culture is worked with. With the hair, the dermal papilla cell culture is worked with. So you can see where we're going with this, hair and skin. Skin and scalp are technically the same thing, but we are trying to work with a very different process. With hair, we have a blood supply. With skin, technically we don't. The mitosial process is fed through nutrition and oxygen released through the veins, whereas hair isn't. It does have a blood supply straight to it, which is why we need so much more intervention and thought processes like LED, like brushing the scalp, for example, like making sure it's washed and conditioned correctly, make sure that we're giving it all of the nutrients and all the support it needs to go through its journey. So within this, we have the growth factors we mentioned, the peptides, the polynucleotides, the amino acids, the coenzymes, all the ingredients that sit in that incredible complexer. But as I said, this is your in-clinic product. There's 5 ml in this, which is an awful lot. You're looking at an average 1 ml, maximum 1.5 ml if you're doing a full head, but that's quite rare. It has a 6-month shelf life. And it's used with a Lurlock syringe. This is an incredible before and after photograph taken. There were 3 treatments. And he was a very good boy. He used all the products that we told him to, the shampoo, the conditioner, the home serum. He brushed his head. He did very, very well. And you can see the results right in front of you.
Andrew, he must be very pleased with those results. And, my perspective of the ExoGrow range is the fact that we have been asked for many years to come up with a MG ExoGrow product, a serum that can be used for microneedling to encourage hair growth. But our philosophy, once again, for the skin is that we have our MG collections for so many different indications, which is another topic altogether, but so many indications like acne, pigmentation, anti-aging, scarring. However, the home care is most important. So for myself, I thought there's no point bringing out just an MG Exo Grow or MG for hair. It needed to be complemented with the hair, the home care, which is what you're going to talk about now. Thank you. But obviously, this gentleman has been very compliant with following the protocols properly, bringing the home care, because to be honest, that is just as important as the clinical treatment. If you're not going to be following those protocols with the home care, it certainly isn't going to get you these kind of results, is it?
No,
one of the questions that, yes, sorry, Andrew, but one of the questions that's come through is, when using these exosomes, can you colour your hair?
Yes, absolutely. You wouldn't do it on the same day, of course, but yeah, of course you can. You can do any chemical treatment if you want to. Just make sure, like a clinical treatment, like you do on your face, you don't do anything aggressive on the same day. Just wait 24 hours until afterwards, and then move on. It's perfect.
Thank you.
That was a great comment, actually, Corey, because with someone like that gentleman, yes, he's absolutely beside himself. He can't control it. It's hilarious, but the simple point here is he's got obviously hereditary androgenic alopecia. Now, with that condition, very simply put, and I say this to all clients because it just makes it very simple and very clean. When you've got hair, and we've got hair on the head, everything's working, and it's not falling out, the body thinks it's completely normal. When your hair starts falling out through hereditary processes, the body still thinks it's completely normal. So we have to go against the body's natural response for the rest of their life. And that sounds like, oh, scary. It's not. This is it in front of you, the exotonic. It's a very simple formulation, but we basically sneakily tricking the body into believing that this hair cycle is normal and keeping it in anagen.
And the good thing about this is there is no side effects like minoxidil. So if you were, as you said before, if you use minoxidil, you have to use it for the rest of your life. With hair tonic as well, the ExoGrow hair tonic, it is something, if you want to maintain those results, you want to keep on getting the results. Yes, this is a long-term product. However, you do not have that plateauing effect because of the HLA-G complex within the formula, and also the fact that there is no toxic chemicals in there. So it's actually good for you. So this has got to be a great addition for anybody that is suffering from hair loss or hair thinning.
100%, yeah, definitely, because it supports the scalp too. Make sure the biome's correct. It keeps all pathogens away. So it's doing a multitude of things as well as what they're actually there for, to get hair loss. So when you're saying to them for the rest of your life, and again, Corey, you're totally right. The minoxidil counters of the various supermarkets, you can't keep enough on there. They're buying them all the time. Consistently buying them all the time, and that we go back to that false hope, false promise again. So people who are going through this are absolutely already aware that it's something they need to do, but we're not giving them an unbelievably complex thing to do. It's just a very simple maintenance, and this is the 160% more effective than minoxidil product. And as Corey said, then that study is done topically. That's amazing.
And sorry to interrupt, Andrew, but I noticed that you've got a picture of the Dermapen home on this slide. So would you like to explain a little bit about that?
I will. So for people who've got, maybe thinning slightly, or they're concerned they may be losing hair, maybe ExoGrow will be fine as a standalone without question. But we've got the 160% more effective minoxidil topically applied. Can you imagine now having that needled in? That's going to up the ante quite dramatically. So the Dermapen Home is a home device that is the same efficacy behind the Dermapen 4. It only goes up to 5 ml. So you can use this with the Exotonic maybe once or twice a week. timeline is down to you, to be honest. You could do it as often or as infrequent as you really want to, but once or twice a week would be perfect. So you're now doing a very superficial application, opening those channels to allow this hair tonic in to do its thing. So without question, to me, it's mandatory. If you've got someone who's going through androgenic alopecia, so hereditary hair loss, to me, it's mandatory. Or extreme thinning, you need to take this home with them. But this also makes perfect sense. It's not like a big sales technique. This makes perfect sense. Great on its own, phenomenal as a combination. So this is also exergotonic, and here you can see this, again, amazing gentleman with his first microneedling treatment. He was also a very good boy and used all of the products at home, but he also used the product was going to come up in a little while, the bar. And you can actually see this particular bar will change color. And you can see with his color, it's gone from gray, pretty much like 80%, to a blonde. And that's quite incredible too. So he did follow all of the protocols, the products. He took the lot home with him. And again, he's another incredibly satisfied customer. This is, along with the tonic, in my humble opinion, another non-negotiable. And this is also something I was really proud of Corey to create, because this is something that a lot of people wouldn't have thought about. Yes, it's great to apply a serum. Yes, it's great to needle something in. All of those things are amazing. But the other thing that we tend to forget about is the scalp itself. So the scalp, the follicle should have a 360 movement. It's like a cone. It rarely does, because it gets filled with oils, dead skin, pathogens, all sorts of things from the outside world, styling products. And in actual fact, all of that can actually strangle the follicle. So it's not helping. It's a little bit like when a guy thinks he's going down a hair loss journey and he's quite concerned about it. He's like, don't touch me, don't wash it, don't brush it, don't, in case it makes it worse. Well, that does make it worse. The more stimulation, the better. So with this is your preparatory treatment. This they can do before they see you in a clinic setting, but they can also do this at home to maintain their scalp, to maintain its, as I said, pathogen removal, to create health, its support, the biome, all the things that are incredibly important. Remember I said earlier, skin and scalp, pretty much the same. We protect our faces with all sorts of things. We don't protect our scalp with anything. So this is a definite, to me, non-negotiable home care. But also make sure that when that client comes to see you, that their scalp is perfect and ready for treatment. The other one too is, do we have clients? Of course we do, with scalp problems like dandruff, psoriasis, eczema. There you go. You can give this to them as well. And this is a lovely testimonial from someone in Australia, Cindy, who said she spent an absolute fortune on products over years and years and years, and she's used this and it's completely been a game changer for her. So another amazing testimonial. We have created a shampoo as well. Once again, these create products within it to help remove gently. A lot of products, they say what they say on the tin, don't they? So if it's like for oily hair, it strips. If it's for dry hair, it puts in oil. This doesn't do any of that. This just cleans the hair, cleans the scalp naturally. It contains incredible things like copper peptide, like niacinamide. Who doesn't love that? The pea protein, all of these ingredients that are actually going to help to give the hair and the scalp moisture and nutrients to sustain scalp and hair. The shampoo is the same thing. We are supporting the scalp. We are not stripping anything. We're not removing. We're supporting to make sure that we can get that hydrolyzed keratin. So this hydrolyzed keratin means it's extremely small and it can go through the cuticle and enter into the cortex, where we need that strength. So obviously hair loss journey is not just about the hair falling out. It can take quite a while where the hair starts to decrease in size. It gets very thin and very limp. This is going to give that back, going to give that support back. And this is another testimonial with a lady with female pattern hair loss. So she's been using Dermaceuticals Exagrow and conditioner, as well as applications Exagrow tonic, and she's noticed that her hair is thickening in only a month and less shedding. That's exactly what you should be seeing. Because again, we're not doing anything to push the boundaries on that. We're supporting, maintaining, not doing anything that's going to be a negative response, which a lot of shampoos that are related to hair loss will have products in that stimulate. So they overstimulate in a negative way.
Andrew, I actually spoke to Renata in Australia as well, and she had been using the shampoo and conditioner for about a month before she started using the Exagrow tonic. And her words were that literally she used to have clumps of hair falling out in her hairbrush and also in the bottom of the shower. But after using the shampoo and conditioner alone, this was also reduced this hair loss so incredibly. She was amazed. The other thing that's interesting about using the shampoo and the conditioner for people that have had hair transplants, for example, the continuation of using the shampoo and conditioner will support this hair growth, support that new the new bulb as well. So this is it's like a medicine. These are what we would call a functional hair care range.
I like that, medicine. That's brilliant. And then we have the bar I just mentioned, the Color Recharge Shampoo Bar. This is quite fascinating because it works on like an osmosis process. So we're using tannins, like natural tannins, so like gallic acid and tannic acid, and then some extremely dark ingredients like charcoal and soybean, black currant, blackberry, eggplant, blueberries, beautiful products. This can be used as a shampoo as well, but it can also be used for shaving. So once again, Corey's husband, Steen, has been using it, and his hair is starting to repigment, hasn't it?
Mm. You really see a difference.
You can really see a difference. I've been starting to use it to do a little shaving action. I haven't been doing it for long, but I can start to see some darkening around here. So from the osmosis works in a way that it's going to allow the product to penetrate so much better through a process of retention or pulling. So it means that it goes through the cuticle and then enter the cortex, and over a period of time that becomes a permanent color saturation. So again, you could use it as a shampoo. It doesn't please don't think of it as a bar of soap, because it absolutely isn't. It still leaves the hair feeling beautiful. It's great for your skin. It really softens your skin. And we have a great picture of Lynn, who we both know, who's got quite dark hair naturally, but sporadic grey, floating around the front and maybe through the parting. And she's been using it 2 or 3 times a week. And you can see for yourself that the colour has returned. And I'm sure that she's extremely happy with that, isn't she, Corey?
She certainly is. She was determined not to use to go and down that path of dyeing her hair, because once you start, where do you stop, sort of thing. Yeah. But using the shampoo, you need to wash your hair constantly. So this was a great option for her, and she's very, very happy. She's got her whole family on it now.
She perfect. And now we have this. So this is Exagrow Lash and Brow. So this is quite a fabulous product because it's 2-ended. So it has like a mascara wand on one end, which you can use for your eyebrows, and it has a brush, a very fine brush, which you can use for eyelashes. There's a couple of very well-known brands out there, and that's fine, but within them they do contain something which is prostaglandin, which is an issue for some people. It can be quite an irritant. It definitely irritated me. It can also pigment around the ocular area and also in some instances the eye itself. So there's lots of people who can't use it because of the irritation they may have. This contains none of that. It contains no minoxidil either. It contains pure exosome therapy from our HLA-G exo complex. Also, because of the wand mascara brush area, if you have a little bit on your beard, if you've got a little bit into your hairline, go for it. And the other thing that's really cool on this one is the other products take, under normal circumstances, I believe, between 2 and 3 months before you start to see a difference. This isn't. You're looking at results up to 4 weeks. This is also someone we both know. And when I saw this photograph, I was really quite blown away. So as I said, 4 weeks noticeable difference. So 61% enhancement in less than 3 months. But we are, I'm sure Corey can attest to this too, we do put the 3-month timeline there, but I'm seeing it an awful lot quicker than that. The clients that are coming to me.
Within weeks, we're seeing results, but that's realistically 3 months. And the one vial, I think, would last for at least 4 to 6 months. So you're going to get very dramatic results. This particular product we've sold out and sold out and sold out so many times. So when it comes in stock, when it is in stock, please get your hands on that. Recently at IMCAS in Paris, we couldn't keep up with it. The demand for this particular product is amazing. Yeah. Andrew, you know what else I love about this product is it's a very good price point, but it gets people started on the Exo Grow range. It gets people believing because they see such amazing results. And even when you're starting to use the whole Exo Grow program, you're going to have new baby hair here. You can even use this wand and brush down those little baby hairs on the side of your temple as well. But seeing those results on the lashes really allows people to go, wow, this stuff really works. I'm going to invest in this program and start using the Exo Grow Tonic. So it's a great add-on to the story, I believe.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you, and it's actually happening. It really is happening. We did it, launched it late last year. I think it was at CCR, I believe, and we did the same thing. Lots of people were buying it, and then we found a month or so later we were getting phone calls about the rest of the line. Oh, could I get the shampoo and the conditioner? And then, oh, could I get the any of them? And then into the journey of the hair loss itself. So it really was. It's great. It's amazing. And this I have to do the caveat of coming soon, and I'm really impatient on this one. So Corey has created the complete 360 now. From this is not just your hair loss journey, though, this is your skin journey as well, and health in actual fact. So the ingredients in here speak for themselves. Marine collagen, the B complexes, so the B1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and B12, all of them are responsible for hair supporting of hair, but also regeneration of skin as well. CNE, precursors to collagen, protection of free radical damage, and then the white tomato, which supports things like acne scars and blemishes, pigmentation. And it says what it does on the tin, sip and sup. It's a pill and then a little drink. Corey, do we know?
Yes, everybody's. It's very, very soon. It's very, very soon. People are dying for this product. It's very exciting, and I can't wait for you all to try it. I think it's a perfect complement for both our skin and our hair side of our synergies. Just a warning, it's got huge amounts of vitamin B within the formula. So there's over 7 types of vitamin B. So you're going to be buzzing with energy. Your skin looks great. Your hair's looking healthier. So I love the fact that it has a beautiful, delicious mango flavor in there as well. I was a bit worried, when we first started testing, it was, some of these drinks are a little bit nasty, but this is a great start to the day. And it's just so easy because it actually covers so many different aspects to what we need in our daily intake. And I'm really excited to have that new bioactive formula of the white tomato extract. I think it's one of those ingredients that we're going to see more of because it has such great effects for both the hair, the scalp, and the skin as well. As you said, with blemishes, acne, scarring, pigmentation, dandruff, and it also helps with the follicle of the hair as well. So this is a great combination, and yes, it will be out very soon.
Great, I'm excited.
Andrew, one of the questions that's come through is with the Exo Grow collection, is it vegan?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a good question. We get asked that a lot, don't we?
Yes, so the shampoo and the conditioner are vegan, totally vegan. And of course, these are functional products completely without toxic chemicals, including no parabens, phthalates, silicons, formaldehyde, sulfates, no SLS, no artificial fragrances within the formulas as well. However, you need to know that the Exo Grow collection has been classified by the Korean FDA as a functional cosmetic for hair loss improvement. This also includes the PRDN polynucleotides within those formulas. So those formulas wouldn't be considered vegan. So most of the products, the shampoos, conditioner, the Exo Grow shampoo color recharge are, but the others are functional products which are used for hair loss in a very ultimate level of potency with the exosome technology as well.
Brilliant. And the recommendations for treatment, it's quite simple. Every 2 weeks would be preferable. If that's difficult, you can go to 3, you can go to 4, but 2 weeks is what we've seen from the studies have come back the best option. There we've got the MG Exo Grow in clinic, and you can see the Dermapen 4 to the left of that. That's your in clinic device. And then we have, which we've already mentioned, the incredible Dermapen Home. And that's what you can take away with you with your hair tonic to do once or twice.
Andrew, Andrew, one of the questions that's come through is, does the Dermapen Home replace the clinical microneedling procedures?
Yes, that's a good question. No, it doesn't. Obviously, the Dermapen 4 is a medical device, and it can go a lot deeper. It's more targeted, and it has to be performed by a registered or licensed technician. But the Dermapen Home is still an amazing device, but it only goes to a certain depth. It only goes to 0.5, which is not going to hurt you, but it's the perfect depth for a home care routine. So no, they are very, very different devices, hence why it has the word home on it. So you can use it at home in perfect safety without any worry. The kit itself comes with everything you need to know, with downloadable videos through an app. The person who you purchase it from will be an ATP. They will be working with us, so they'll give you the whole support, the whole how-to guide. And of course, if you're using this, you're going to a clinic to purchase, or you are purchaser, they're going to come and see you. And to me, this is great because I always want to maintain their journey. So we do like 4-6 treatments. That's about average, if I'm honest. You can do more, but that's really when you start to see a great response. And then you can see them maybe once every couple of months as a upkeep or maintenance. To me, that maintenance, let's be honest, you probably don't really need it because you've done the job. The MG Exo Grow has done the job. They're at home continuing that job with their incredible home care regime. But I like to see them every couple of months to make sure they're happy, to make sure they're supported, to make sure that they're, everything's great, because they will come and see you to repurchase needles, to buy new tonic, and you want to keep that relationship going together. And I think that's so incredibly important when it comes to hair loss, especially. And then we have the ultimate package, in my humble opinion. And this is it. It looks like a lot of products. It really isn't. And when you think about the amount of money that these people spend on hair loss products, and they have done over their time of losing their hair or feeling like they have, it's not. As Corey quite rightly said, the price point is not high, because we know that this is something they're going to use for the rest of their life. And we're there to support them on that journey. So the mandatory, non-negotiable is the scalp mask, the exotonic. And with a more advanced hair loss journey, the Dermapen Home, without question. I always add the Cliniprep Plus to that because Cliniprep Plus is hypochlorous with colloidal silver. So it's also going to make sure that you're happy, that your clients are at home are making sure that they've got the perfect aseptic environment when they're about to do their Dermapen Home. And it's a beautiful mist now. It's been updated to this beautiful mist, which they can literally just brush onto their heads, wipe it in. And again, you know, the comfort's there and that you're supporting them. But as a whole, I think this is the perfect package. On the right-hand side is, of course, LED. And LED is brilliant because LED is stimulates collagen. So it stimulates blood supply. So it kickstarts blood supply from a very deep level. So LED goes really deep. To where the blood supply actually is. So it pushes that blood up. So using it in combination, you can use this literally every day. You know, they're as safe as houses, LED. Ask NASA, they invented it. So it helps with inflammatory, it helps with blood circulation, it helps with collagenesis, it helps the hair loss journey. So all of these things are relevant to the journey they're dealing with. So as a package, I think it's the absolute ultimate.
Thank you, Andrew. And what would be great is, thank you, Andrew. Well, I think what would be lovely now is if we could actually watch a treatment being done.
Okay, there we have it. I really hope you enjoyed all of that. Hopefully you can see that it's the perfect accompaniment to every clinic to support your clients who have a hair loss journey, because I'm absolutely convinced that you get to hear it all the time of people asking you questions. How can they support? Where can they go? What can they do? And now you can support them. Corey?
Thank you so much, Andrew, for joining us today, and thank you very much for all this presentation. For everybody that's joined us today, thank you very much. We look forward to having many more of these global webinars each month. Dermapen World will be presenting different topics, so we look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.